Okay, so jumping right into an overview of Photoshop and the user interface. Go ahead and open up Photoshop. If you haven't downloaded it, just pause it right now and download it. But if you have, great, open it up and then just hit create new. We're just going to call this app10 test. And then, yeah, when it comes to the width and the height, don't worry about it. Actually, we'll make it 1500 by 1500, which is going to be a neat square. It also happens to be the resolution that you're going to upload all of your product photos for Shopify in, but that is way down the track. So for now, let's just make a 1500 by 1500 pixels. Make sure it's pixels. Cool. And then, yeah, great. We're going to have probably a transparent background. If you haven't got one, that's fine. Just create new again. We'll hit that. We're file new. 1500 to 1500. Make sure the resolution is 72. We'll go CMYK color 8-bit. And yeah, here's where you've got your background contents. So we're just going to make that transparent. You can make it white or black or whatever, but we're just going to use it as transparent for now. Yeah, cool. And hit create. If you didn't already make it 1500 by 1500 and transparent. If you did, well done. You passed the first test. Joking. But yeah, jumping into Photoshop. And I might just make that screen a little bigger. So, if you've never seen Photoshop before, well, welcome. It might seem scary, but it's not. It's actually a really easy software to learn once you kind of get the hang of it. And there's definitely an 80 for 20 for the tools that you'll use and like kind of practices and methods that you'll use. And then once you understand the basics of those, you'll be able to extrapolate that to so many things and you'll be a Photoshop wizard in no time. But first things first, let's just click window and we'll make sure that we're in the essentials workspace. There's loads of different things you can do with Photoshop, and that is literally not limited by many things. You can make 3D models in Photoshop if you want to. We're probably not going to do that in Photoshop ever. But one thing we will do in 3D is kind of tweaking renders, which we'll download from Yellow Images or some other graphic, online resource. Or maybe it's one that one of our team will have made ourselves, which would be great. But yeah, that's way down the track, so we're not going to be starting with that, don't worry. There's other things you can do, so you can set it up for motion, which is then kind of video come like a GIF interface. Maybe you want to do some paintings, which would be really cool. Instead of painting on paper, you're going to paint in Photoshop. Well done. There's then a setup for photography, and there's then a setup for like graphic and web. I mainly just use Essentials for everything really, because if you need extra windows, you can just hit window and add it here. And by that same token, if you accidentally close something like that and you're like, oh crap, where did it go? It's just going to be over here in window. The one that we just closed was layers. If you hit layers, it comes back, so don't worry. Yeah, I guess kind of then talking about a bit of the literal user interface itself. Over here on the left, if you're using the standard Essentials workspace, you've got all of your tools. I won't deep dive into that now. This is more literally just a very quick understanding where everything is. Obviously, you've got your kind of workspace in the middle here. You've got layers over here. You can add multiple layers. And I'll show you quickly. If we hit B for brush, you can be painting something, and then you can paint something else on a different layer, and then you can change the color and paint something else on a different layer. Look at that, it's some sort of abstract, I don't even know what it is, like hair or something. But yeah, you can then turn that layer off, for example, and leave that one on, or vice versa. So we'll get to layers, but they're super important. Over here in the layers, in the layers window, there's lots of different things you can tweak, whether that's opacity or fill or whatever. But the main things you're really going to need to worry about is, this kind of main workspace here, the tools over here on the left, using file to save and export, using edit to do things like content aware fill and a few other things like that. Image to change the canvas size, but will teach you a handy shortcut for that, and you'll remember it because you'll do that a lot. And yeah, other things like then, you know, putting different types of type in, or yeah, selecting and masking. In filter, you'll definitely be using lots of different filters, and you'll definitely be using Convert for Smart Filter. Yeah, 3D you won't really need to worry about. View you might use from time to time, but not really, and there's kind of shortcuts for doing the main thing you probably do in View, which is zooming in and out. Yeah, and then window, as I said before, if you've lost one of the windows on here, window is where you'll find it again. But yeah, the three kind of main things are the tools over here, this workspace, and then layers. Beyond that, there's then, yeah, of course, as we just spoke through, the file to help up the top, and then there's a bunch of different kind of other windows down here, but you're not really going to need to worry about them, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, properties you might use, but again, that will be like up the top here, you're kind of aligning stuff, see up here. Yeah, but that is a very, very quick and rough rundown of the Photoshop interface. As I said, the main things you really need to worry about is just all of this over here on the left, the different tools, you know, changing the color, and you can toggle between the foreground and background color, and then all the extra toolbars, all the extra tools you'll find in the edit toolbar. But yeah, like, again, the point of this video is really just to open it up, not be too shocked by it, and then get a bit of an understanding for Photoshop. But yeah, in the next video, we'll then kind of go through what are the main tools that you'll use. So I'll see you there soon. I'll see you there in a jiff.